Hey my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are here again today to talk about Married at First Sight with our beautiful fiance, Joe. And let's just jump right on into Married at First Sight, episode 9. This episode was really good because everybody had the opportunity to ask really deep and probing questions about love and falling in love. So the episode opens up with Bennett being very sick, debilitatingly sick, and Amelia has to take care of him. What is very clear to me is that Bennett had the coronavirus.
No.
It's not up for debate. It's not up for debate. He started it. He gave it to everybody. And
then the show ended.
And that's it. And that's all, right?
This might be where we going.
So, okay. So it starts out that way, and Amelia helping to nurse him back to health.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really kind of I'm loving seeing them in real world moments. Obviously, that's the point of the show. But it's I am excited for Woody and Amani as well as Amelia and Bennett and how their love is growing so organically and everything like that. You know what I mean? I think that's really kind of cool. So I thought that moment was really, really dope. Shout out to Amelia. She's a doctor. So a little ginger, a little honey, get things right or whatever the case may be. But Miles, it sends us right into Miles' friend coming over and teaching them, Karen and Miles, how to cook. Which this is the same friend that was at Woody's apartment
for the party.
Yeah. Which I am so loving it. How do y'all feel about that? Two people knowing each other, being on a show, going through this together.
I think it's so cool. Just them going through this whole process together. I think it's just so cool. And I think it's a big leg up just having a support system where even your friends are helping another friend through the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's dope.
I think that's dope too, and I think that I tell people all the time, some of the easiest ways that people stay married is their support group. You know what I mean? I was just talking to a girlfriend. I said, I'm not gonna be the girlfriend that tell you to leave your man. I'm just not. You know what I mean? Because that's not a decision I can make for you. You know what I mean? But some people will, well then don't deal with it then. Leave them then.
You need the right people. You definitely need the right people around and it's funny because I was just talking to a friend of mine who called me and, who we haven't had that many conversations as far as relationship stuff. And he's going through a similar process that we are as far as preparing for marriage and stuff like that. And I told him bro, you can call me whenever you need to because you need that. You know what I'm saying? I said they tell you it take a village to raise a child, but they don't tell you it take a village to keep a relationship together. And that's just the fact of the matter is you need your support system. You need the right people in your bubble, in your circle. And so I think that's cool of them to have that, but it's just true. It's just real.
It's just real. Yeah. And I think like you said, it definitely takes a village to keep a relationship together. You have to see it. It has to be tangible. You got to feel it around you. The energy got to be this, you have to be in a marriage with your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That long-term, deep, committed relationship just with the people around you too.
Yeah.
That stuff is important. And I think that I love that they chose, and I think that was something also a part of their experiment, throwing in two young men who know each other.
Yeah.
Will that help in the success of their marriage as well?
Yeah.
Because that's you know what I mean? That's a control. You've created a new control for your experiment. I mean, not a new control, but you added a new
layer,
layer to your experiment. So I think that I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So he came over and wined and dined Miss Karen or whatever the case may be with her ungrateful ass.
Ha!
Y'all, I've been really, and we're gonna get into Karen later. I ain't even gonna dig into her like I want to, and I want to say this out loud because somebody said to me, "Oh, sometimes y'all be going in so hard on Karen," and I said, I make a conscious. I mean, personally, as a woman, as a black woman, as a brown girl, I make a conscious decision not to go in on Karen for one reason and one reason only: she black. Now, if it was Olivia acting like that, I'd be tearing right into her.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why I give her grace, and I don't know what this says about me, I don't know, good, bad, or indifferent. The only reason why I don't go in on her the way that she deserves is because she black. But today, it's enough of that for today. Okay, I'm going to dig right into it. But I did love the fact that Miles wanted to do something different because she had been cooking for him and taking up that mantle of being that person who like make sure that the house is taken care of or whatever the case may be. And he just wanted to make sure if you sick or you working late or if you don't feel like it, I could still provide something for you as well.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like really loving and just an ode to the husband that he wants to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they had a conversation about like, will this last? Like, I don't even want to get.
No. It wasn't. Okay.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
No, if we're not gonna go now.
Yeah, because I wanna go, but I don't wanna. I wanna let's say because we got some other things to talk about. Christina and Henry, y'all remember them? You know that couple that don't nobody know their names, but they still there. We don't know how they got there. They like I forget their name every week. Yeah. Every time we do this, I have to make sure like, okay, Christina and Henry. Like, this was a really good episode for them. Okay,
yeah,
Christina was very transparent about the fact that she is going through withdrawal. She's off her meds, okay, and
that was the end of the story.
It's been affecting her. You know what I mean? And you could tell. It's almost as if she did. I mean, she's still boring, right? It didn't change her her boring personality.
Yes, you're right. But she also did a 180. Like, she is a different person. Who knew that she just needed to take her meds?
I knew. I don't believe people are naturally nasty. I would argue. Okay. I see where you're going. Yeah. I see where you're going. But I would argue that if somebody really sat down with these pissy people, they will find that they like, oh, they have bipolar disorder.
There's something there.
Or they have depression.
Yes. No,
or
true.
like, you know what I mean? And she has ADD, which is, you know, attention deficit disorder.
But I think she had a little bit something more. Yeah, I think she is a little bit more, whether it was depression or bipolar or something, because she is she
might be on a spectrum.
She's a different person.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, it was like she was playing multiple personalities. And I'm like, whoa, who's that person? Right. Like, she was in Christina's body, but that wasn't the Christina we've been watching for 8 weeks.
Right.
I don't know who that was. I mean, just the way she's talked to him was more like, the way she talked about him in the confessionals was like, different and a lot more loving and with the patients.
But this is my only issue with it. Christina, don't keep coming up with all these new diseases that you got to justify your piss poor ass attitude. I don't want that to keep happening either, because I loved how he responded to her like, listen, I'm not going to be the one to tell you not to take your meds. Like, you know what I mean? I want you to be feel as good as you want to feel. I want you to do what you want to do. And I think that it was very loving for him to say that. It was very loving for him to say, nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty dope. I thought it was like, look, we all going through things. It's not like people take pills for any number of reasons. Like, and you shouldn't feel any kind of way because of that. And I think for us as a viewer, it just made you understand her better.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make me feel like, you know, towards her. It made me just like, oh my goodness, this makes so much sense. Because if any of us have had a little bit of Adderall, okay, let me tell you something. We all know what that day is like. The day after that Adderall, you be like laid out, okay? So I do understand her like trying to wean herself off, do all that. Like, I get it, I really, really do.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was super dope how he responded to her, and just to see them grow a certain kind of communication. This is the most he has spoken in an episode to her.
Yeah. And
I think that's because before, I think he's more governed by his feelings than he knows. Mm-hmm. Because I think because he didn't like her, he could not continue to have conversation with her.
He was just kind of like,
physically could not show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that now he understands certain things. He could give the benefit of the doubt.
But we knew this because we see Henry around other people, and he's a different person. And if you go back to the earlier episodes, I remember saying He just needs to be with a different person, because I believe that if he was with somebody else, he would respond differently. And now he is with somebody else, because Christina's a different person now, and he's a different. He's just all in this. You know, he taking dance lessons and all of this other stuff. He's taking the golf and all of this stuff.
Mr.
It's
Harry.
like he a different person.
He is, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling how he's trying to put himself out there now.
Yeah.
Like now he sees how, okay, this could be something that I can invest my time, my feelings in. And I thought that was like super dope. Yeah. We could get into Woody and Imani. I love these guys, and I love how open they have conversation with one another and everything like that. And they are talking about, like, you know, drastic changes of what they're going to do in the next few days. And Imani says, I'm going to go get my haircut. So that conversation about getting a haircut, her haircut came up. Oh, Lord. She said, you told me all I had to do was like tell you about it or whatever. But I really enjoy watching them as we progress through the episode. They have this moment where they're speaking about love and what does it look like when you're in love, and how does it feel when you're in love, and do you feel now like you're in love? And Woody says, like, I love you for sure, like I love you, but I, you know, it's,
you said, like, I have love for you.
I have love for
you.
You
Know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. And but I love that they are having these conversations, and that she was transparent about, like, it's going to take me some time to get there. It did kind of bother me a little bit that Woody was... Imani has been in relationships that have emotionally scarred her, right? So her ability to be a little bit more open and fall in love faster is... It's harder for her. You know what I mean? But he made a very valid point. He says, why should he be punished? Technically, this is what he's saying. Why should he be punished for some stuff he ain't had nothing to do with?
Right.
Like, if you're going to love me.
Yeah.
For whatever it is, and be open to that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to go through hoops and, you know, all these peaks and valleys with you if you're going to only withhold love from me, or withhold the possibility of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was very, and he was disappointed. And at first I was bothered by it, because it's like, you can't rush her to be in love with you.
Yeah.
But then I kind of...
He was just saying, I want you to bring those walls down and allow yourself to be here. I think not like hurry up and come where I'm at.
Yeah.
But like be here and give me the chance to usher you into love with us. You know what I'm saying? Don't have the walls from the past relationships up here, because this is a new thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I want something about Woody. Y'all, I've been saying this since day one. I like Woody. I want to be very clear. But you ever have like a male friend and he dope and you love him, but he just ain't no good? You know what I mean? Like, he just ain't no good. Like, he be talking about his relationships and you be like, it's you. Like, you the problem. You the one who think everybody's supposed to cater to you and do this and do that. And not that Woody gives me the he's no good vibe. He gives me I dibble and dabble in nonsense vibe.
Well, what did he do?
I just don't like the... First of all, not that it's too early to be talking about being in love and stuff like that, or what that looks like. I don't know if I think it's too early for that kind of conversation, or if I just didn't like how he could take such a staunch stance on something, and y'all have only been living at this time with each other, 2 weeks?
What do you feel was staunch?
I felt like to feel a way about how she says it's going to take her time to be in love, period, was an issue for me. Because it's like, let's say it is because of previous situations, right? Let's throw it out there and say it was. This only been this for a few weeks. Right. It ain't like months in and I'm still giving you the Heisman. Like, that's not...
I think he just feel like they have been going so well naturally that he feels like, just let it happen. Don't put anything there to obstruct us from the natural progression that we're on. And I think that's why he felt the way. Because they have been, I don't think they've rushed anything. I don't feel like they've they forced anything between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think in his mind he's like, let's keep this going naturally, but don't block it. Yeah, don't block it, because we could continue to fall for each other and be in love by next month. It's possible we're not,
right?
But don't do anything to obstruct us from getting there.
Okay, I can go with that. So, one of the greatest things ever is Bennett and Amelia. Y'all know how I feel about them already. Amelia has a whole day planned for Bennett, and it was the cutest thing.
Yeah.
They've already moved one of their friends, and it's not up for debate. She lives
It's
there.
her
Somebody
friend.
needs to talk to production.
Yeah, because she was just in the living room reading a book.
Right, do you live?
Like, hey guys, who is that? Was anybody else wondering, like, yo, who is that? Like, I know she was supposed to like be helping her with the setup for this surprise, but when the surprise was over, she was just in her room in the living room.
It was so fascinating.
Yeah, but they gotta watch Amelia, because she'll mess around and just have like a
girlfriend,
heap of people just
living
in there. You know what I'm saying?
I was going somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know where you was going with it, but she came from living in like a group home somewhere in her old apartment where she had 20 roommates.
Oh my god!
So she might be that type of person that just like need to be living in the dorm room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he need to be careful.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think he likes it too.
I don't know, because he built himself a small hut and was in love with it.
Hilarious.
It was just him.
A small hut. True indeed. But I did like that they had the conversation about like this shit, like who gonna wash what, who gonna do what. We need to sit down, iron this out, and we can like switch it every week. I just thought that was like such a super cool thing to like talk about, and it wasn't. I just feel like every time they speak, she listens to him.
Yeah.
Like so intently, like so like deeply. Like you ever talking to somebody, they like looking you in your eyes, like that. She gives you that, like you know what I mean. And I really do love that. And I think I just love that, and it speaks to her being a good communicator as well. Because good communicators are just really good listeners.
Well,
you know what I mean?
She got a lot of work to do on communicating on her end though. Because I think he does a good job of leading her into these, but she's always hesitant. It happened with Pastor Kyle, and it happens with him.
To talk about the hard things.
Yes.
Okay.
She is.
Okay.
So she got a ways to grow,
okay.
But the thing is, because to your point, because she listens to him,
yeah.
she'll go there. She'll go there.
She'll go there if he's like.
Yeah, but you can tell it's still very clear that she's hesitant.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm with that. I can agree with that then. Yeah. I just like her.
Hey, I like her too.
I just really do like her. And like I just like them. I like them. And we haven't talked about Olivia and Brett.
They just a lot. They are,
It's like I separately dislike them.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they working on it. But see, for me, it's less Olivia for me. Like, I have my issues with Olivia. Like we talked about last episode, her drawing her hard lines and this what I'm gonna do, and you can join if you want.
Yeah.
Which she got her own set of issues. But the more and more I watch them together, the more and more I feel really bad that she has to go home to this individual every day. And I see her expression, and she looks like the person who is forced to sit in a nursing home and feed the elderly for, because they have to do some type of community service or something. Like, that's how she looks. Like, she's on a boat ride, like.
So, first of all, let's talk about her and Amani having a walk. This was a big thing for me as a viewer, because I thought that she liked Brett. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, okay, she like him. Joe knew that. So this is like, he can discern some things, y'all. He was watching it from a different angle and was like, she don't like him.
Yeah.
And I could not see that. I'm like, no, she like him. She think he cute. But when Amani straight up asked her, like, are you happy? Like, do you like him? And she was like,
yeah.
That's how you know it's a no.
Yeah.
And you can't find a word that you want to use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was big.
It was. But
it makes sense. Because the more I watch this the more I'm like, if I ask you a question and we're trying to they talking about love and what does falling in love look like. And the whole time you like,
sidestepping and making jokes,
backpedaling, pussy popping,
yeah,
doing all that silly stuff. It's like that's I'm talking to an adult. Like it's like.
But it's like, but she says that he does that in everything. Like she says that like it don't matter what they talking about, and then his excuse for it was, well, you know, I like to bring comedy and I like to find the light and everything. That's like, no, that's not the same thing. Like
I would have to fight him.
Like being an optimistic person is not the same as just being immature. Like that's what you're trying to cover up, and these two things are not the same.
You're just immature.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? And the idea that you think that this is okay to respond to somebody, and we're trying to really move our like, do you want to move it forward?
But the idea that you can visibly see that she's frustrated,
yes,
and you're still like, haha, that's messed up. That's messed up. Like you, like it's one thing. It's one thing to see like the jokes are not landing,
right,
and then to pivot. But like he keeps it up, like he can see that she's not feeling what you're doing, and he just keeps.
But if I ask you a question, right, and you joke the first time, cool. You joke the second time, cool. If I ask you a third time, you want to know why I asked you 3 times? Because I want an answer. I want an actual answer. Why you keep playing with me? Yeah. Like when I tell you I used to date Brett, he's a horrible human being.
No, not in reality, y'all. She didn't really use to date.
No.
Somebody be like, the girl used to date Brett, and she said,
no, I dated somebody just like. Thanks, babe, for clearing it up. I dated somebody just like him. You talk, he talking about something else. You want to laugh, motherfucker? I'm talking to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. I can see the frustration on her face when she's talking to him and when she's dealing with him. And she's another person that when you see around other people, she's this like kind of more of a joyous, like bubbly, happy person, and you don't see her like that. No,
when she's not with every now and then used to be spots, but them days is long gone. And
that's my biggest issue. I feel even with the date, they go to the alligator washing thing. He all calling it a lame date. Oh, do lame dates do this? And she's just like, maybe if we do something different that you nor I have done, we can spark some kind of chemistry. Because she don't feel like there's chemistry there. That's the bigger thing, right? Because there's not. Because he's a prick, and you don't know when he. Oh, I hate that word. Sorry, y'all.
But it's true.
Y'all. But like, you know what I mean. But like, literally, because he's just a horrible human being, you don't know, is he trying to be a good person? Is he listening? Is he here for the right reasons? Like, that's stressful.
Yeah.
In an already super stressful situation.
Yeah, where you're trying to imagine trying to get to know somebody and they constantly just make cracking jokes and sidestepping.
It's cute at first, and then you get real like, this who you is?
Yeah.
Like, she's really pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like, not that so much love is a verb. The act of ascending in love is an action.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment, and it requires action.
Yeah.
And it's not just something you could say, oh, well, you have to create experiences. It's so hard to like creating. I think that roots you even more with somebody. Like, the more things you do with somebody, the more experiences you have, the more moments you share, that makes that person even more ingrained in you. That person becomes a limb. Like, you know, you get to the point in your life where you like, I ain't walking around without my left arm. Yeah. You right-handed.
Yeah.
But you know what your left arm, like, you know what I mean? Your whole left arm serves such a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that he is just so shut off to that. And that is just so off-putting. It's disgusting to me.
Yeah.
It really, really is. But, okay, so I want to get into, let's just move on to Karen and Miles. You want to just hit it?
Yeah. Yes.
How did you feel about
Well, speaking of the jokes, let's start with the joke, right? So we were talking about, you know, Brett making these jokes while Olivia's trying to talk to him. The big thing that I had an issue with was Miles makes a joke because, you know, they're talking about, you know, intimacy and sex.
Should we go back to the grocery store, though?
As long as we can get back to this joke, because I need to unload
Get the joke, Daddy. Go ahead.
The joke about how he goes over to the refrigerator and he says, okay, well, we're going to schedule this thing. We put it on here. Miles is going to I have sex with my wife on da-da-da-da.
Yes.
She says, I just felt so disrespected in my own house. And that really like did it for me with Karen.
Or that was so immature.
That was so immature.
But that's blowing the load. Let's be for real. Throughout this episode, what has been very clear to me, Miles shared a lot. I want to really dig into this. This will be our big last topic, right? Miles first shares earlier in the show that his parents got divorced when he was 9, okay? So he had an experience of going to this house or going to that house all his life, right? And he also had the experience of being the mediator for his parents all his life up until he got into college and was able to advocate for himself and tell his father, I can't do this with y'all no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm tired. And she says, she hears that, okay? And says, that's why I want to make sure that you communicate here, okay? Because I don't want you to feel like you got to you got to be this perfect person, this perfect husband.
No, that's not what. We gotta use the words that she used. She said, "I don't want you to strive to be this perfect husband."
That's what she said. That's what she said, baby.
Which is the dumbest shit that I've ever heard come out of a woman's mouth, period, or anybody's mouth. Because why do we do all of this work? Why do we go to counseling and sit down and we talk to each other and we have these come to Jesus moments where I listen to you, you listen to me, and then we go on these vacations and we do that? What's the point of all of this if my goal is not to be literally the closest thing to perfect that she has in her mind for a spouse? What's the point? So where do I aim to? Where do I aim, Karen? Tell me where to aim. I need to go to the bottom. I need to go to the middle. I need to strive to be like a mediocre husband. Like, I don't understand it. Why do you practice if you're not trying to perfect what you're doing?
But this is just the beginning of a litany of horrible things she said throughout this one episode.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That is just like the third thing that she said was just completely and utterly asinine. And I would argue that Karen ain't even never been in a good relationship. I would argue that she has never even been in a relationship.
I would bet money on that. Because
the stuff she says is so off base and like asinine. It's like literally like one thing I despise on Earth, okay, throughout the universe and all the other planets, is a mother jumper who think they know what they talking about and don't know a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
It will burn me up. First, because I'm the fact checking ass queen. So I'm like, no. Like, don't do that. The idea that you think that your spouse should not aspire to be as close to a perfect spouse for you is a self-worth issue. You don't love your damn self. Because my thing is, I do have standards, right? For my household, my husband, my life, right? If he doesn't keep that same kind of fervor with trying to meet me at the place I expect him to be, the expectations I have of him in our relationship, what do we have?
But not only that, but the issue, we got to talk about the issues of a person to think that it's something wrong with you for trying to aspire to be the best.
That is something wrong with you.
It's you. It's like it's no way around it. It's no,
because he want to be a doting husband,
and you think it's something wrong with him.
Doting husband, you think it's something wrong with him. Let's go to the supermarket because she tried me. She tried me.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is where we're gonna bring up his mama again. Mama, you need us to pull up, get our little tin on, throw some Vaseline on the face. Because listen,
we all need to collectively just apologize.
We need to apologize. Let's
I
take
know
a moment.
on the Twitterverse and everywhere, people was probably killing the mind when she was.
Let's take a moment
and apologize. She was right, okay? And
because the mother had a third eye.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry for real. Because I'm tired. Because let me tell you something. I love me some big black mamas. Let's be clear. But
because she saw her. She knew.
She saw her.
She knew.
She saw, like, that third eye was like open.
Oh,
and she
man,
was
her
like,
spidey senses was tingling.
She knew.
Yeah.
They in the supermarket. This man is like, they having a good time. They going through the supermarket, and they start speaking about him being, I don't want to say emotional.
Well, talk how because that's what she said. I'm not used to a man being this emotional.
I would argue, Karen, you're not used to a man.
A real man. You ain't never seen them. And if they dropped them on your head,
you would never know. You would never know. Is he busting me upside my? Is he sleeping with other women? Is he making babies behind my back? He a man. Yeah. That's the man. Like, no, sis. Like, you got to be so emotionally damaged. Yeah. You have to be so emotionally damaged to sit in front of any man and say,
and then she said it wasn't masculine. Then she went a step further and said, I'm just used to a more masculine. She didn't say this part to him. I think she said it in the confessional, but she said, I'm just used to a more masculine man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not used to, like, you know, a man that shows his emotions and is going to tell me, is going to pour these emotions out on me.
Ain't nobody ever loved this child. And what's very clear is that your father don't kiss your mother in the mouth.
Huh?
Y'all know what I mean?
Yeah.
I come from, like, you know what I mean? What's very clear to me is that your father don't tell your mother how beautiful she is. Your father don't sit on your mother, put his head in your mother's lap and complain about his damn
standards.
Dad.
Like, you just
don't have no standards because you never seen that. Yeah. Because the reality is, you got to be the softest place on earth. He already a black man, and he's unequivocally a black man. Right. He a bigums too. Right. You know what I mean? So he goes out and I don't even cape for men like this. I gotta say this out loud. You know that I'm almost always on women's side, but this bothered me so deeply. Mm-hmm. Because as women, as a black woman, when you meet a man who's so in tune with how he feeling, mm-hmm. he in tune with his star player, okay? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you meet a man and he in tune with his star player, and he can tell you, this is what's going on with me. I feel this way about this. I would like to bring you in on that, and you don't appreciate that. That's a you issue. I blame you.
But do you know what that's called? An adult. Like, when you meet somebody like that, like, it's called an adult. It's called a grown man.
I'm not used to that's not.
It's called masculine. A grown man. That's what it's called.
As if women are running around here so effing emotional. What are you trying to say about women?
Right.
What are you trying to say about femininity?
Right. Like, you weak. That's what she's saying.
Girl.
But the thing about it is, I love that he called her on it and said, so, you know, how does me being emotionally intelligent make you feel?
That's exactly he threw emotionally intelligent in there. Yep. Just stupid ass. Yep. Now that's what he wanted to say.
Because he let you know in one sentence. First of all, it's emotional intelligence, and it's actually a value. You know, it's actually something that you can attribute to me that's as a positivity. It's not a negative. It's not a demerit on who I am as a person. And also, I'm gonna put you on the spot to explain why does this bother you?
And we want to see you backpedal, pussy pop, do cartwheels and stuff like that. Look a whole goddamn fool trying to explain why him being in touch and in tune with his star player is feminine. Yeah, it's weak.
It's weak.
Like, I just find her to be.
It's weak.
Tired. And she is tired. And it's like, sis, the biggest issue I have with this is that black men, black women, we as a people have such a hard way to go anyway.
Right.
So when you come here, I talk to him about this all the time. Like, we ain't got to yell, we ain't got to fight, because I want to hear you. Like, when we talking, you feel like it's bothering you, it's in your stomach, you mad, you angry, slow down. Because my priority for us is to make sure that you're happy. So if you know that and you understand that that's my intentions, right? You can speak to me in a manner where we can get some shit done. Mm-hmm. And the issue I have with her is that everything is an issue.
Everything.
And
you do something nice, it's like, I don't know how much you
oh,
do that
is he
for.
gonna do? He do this for every bitch? What if he do?
Yeah,
that means he consistent. He a real good dude. Like if he do, first of all, if he do it for every woman, why do that bother you?
Would you?
Why do that bother you?
Because it would bother you if you found out that he was a piss poor mate to every woman that he had too. That would be a problem too.
It's like I don't.
Miles can't win, and that's my issue. Like he cannot in this relationship. He can't win. And so I feel like you are creating and it's good that we know that Miles is a lover and he has been in relationships that didn't go well, and he was able to continue on to make himself available and vulnerably available for the next relationship, right? And so but when I say you're creating a monster, we don't know how long that's going to continue on, right? Sometimes we don't know when the last straw is going to be the last straw. And Miles turns into, Lil Bootsy or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know.
But that's who you want.
Right.
The problem is that that's who you like. And that says more about your self-esteem and your self-worth. And let's be clear. I think it's not beneath any of us to meet somebody, any of us, who like, dang, this person is thorough, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we all can say this. Like, you meet somebody, they thorough, they everything that you would want. They just not that person. Mm-hmm. So you do messed up stuff, mm-hmm. right? And you don't hold them in a certain regard. I'm not saying that that's not something that we all have experienced. Personally, I've done it. You know what I mean? So I'm more upset because when I was doing it, I wasn't on a show. In which, like, for real, like, let's keep it 100. I've done it. I met a dude. He was thorough, and that don't take away from the fact that he thorough. That I'm on, sometimes I'm an FN. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, but I think that like the difference is that she literally went on a show to meet a human to create a life with, or to build a life with.
She married
him.
She married a stranger and then decided to do all of this stuff.
And it's like, sis, you ain't even giving it a chance. And I just find the one thing that I want to get to, and this is the end, is when they were talking about intimacy, and he brought up the conversation because he a grown man and said, well, let's talk about it. She was like, well, why we gotta talk about it?
Why do we gotta talk about it? Because I'm an adult and we're married.
He said that in his roundabout nice Mr. Miles way. And she said, well, why don't we wait to talk about that until it happens? That's how you know you a young John. That's how you know all up here is immature. Because you talk about, when you with a person, you talk about marriage before you get married. You talk about babies before you make a baby. Yeah. When you with a person, right? So
when you're an adult.
When you talk about being intimate, you talk about intimacy before you're intimate.
Yeah.
Y'all
just was having a party where everybody was talking about sex. It was in the questions. So now you're in the privacy of your own kitchen with your husband, and he says to you, let's talk about intimacy, and you sidestep it like, we don't got nothing to talk about. That's messed up, number one. Not only is it immature, but you just leave this man alone.
Leave him alone.
It's like, what is that? It is literally, it is nails on a chalkboard for me to hear these things come out of her mouth. And then he's like literally trying to explain like, well, we should talk about it because we're in a relationship together and we sleep in the same bed together and we're married. And so intimacy is a thing that we should be building with each other. So let's talk about what does that look like for you? How would you like me to show up for you and it was just like, a grown man talking to a toddler on a playground. Like, it's
and
just
then
like,
she had the unmitigated goal to turn around and say, because he says, I want to put it on a calendar. I want to be intentional about our intimacy. That's what he was saying. He's not saying that I'm going to pin you down
about it. And then she says, I felt so disrespected in my own house.
Get out!
Your husband.
Get out!
Because your husband alluded to being intentional about intimacy, and in a joking manner at that, right? Because he's trying to break the ice because you're a child. So he's trying to break the ice to make you comfortable enough to talk about this with your husband.
Come on.
But he said it in a joking manner about you being intentional about your intimacy, and then you say that he's disrespecting you in your own house when all he did was write it on the.
But what we not gonna act like, Karen? And I don't even know you. I don't know your insides. I don't know your outsides. I don't know nothing, right? But what we not gonna act like, from a real one to whoever you are. We not gonna act like you ain't did more for less. That ain't what. Come on, let's keep it ground now. Let's not act like you ain't been out there busting down on whomever. You have done more for less. And you would have the nerve to sit up in front of this man face and act like, the idea that you would even allude to the fact that he's a predator or he's trying to prey on you.
I didn't like that.
It's disgusting. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm not saying, and this is keeping it 100, nobody's saying that she had to even stick to that date.
Yeah,
that wasn't the point he was trying to make.
It wasn't.
The point he was trying to make is that we got to show progress in all areas.
Period.
That's what he was getting at.
Yeah.
Like, anybody can see that. Like, we ain't doing too much cuddling. We ain't kissing in the mouth. We ain't doing that. Sometimes you gotta, my man said, we was in therapy the other day. My man said, we need to be closer a little bit more. And not like, doing the thing, but literally physically closer. He just need me to like hold him or hug him or.
But that's what adults do, advocate for yourself.
I don't see why
y'all married. Like, y'all married. You know what I'm saying? And
y'all are actually married.
You're actually married. And that's the other thing. It is like, this is a process that you signed up for, right? So you didn't do your due diligence. Have you spoken to a married couple? Because scheduling sex is not foreign to especially couples who married with kids 10, 20 years.
Or your spouse is on the road and you home.
Guess what? When I get home, wake your ass up. Cause I might get in at 10 in the morning, or it might be noon. But guess what's happening when I get back home? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so for you, so this is also you not doing your due diligence about the process that you were walking into. Cause I don't know not one, especially couple with tenure, that would tell me that scheduling sex is not only not a thing, but it's disrespectful
and childish
and immature.
Come on. I just feel like y'all, because there's going to be a lot of y'all, I feel like, in the comments talking about, well, she can do whatever she wants with her body, and nobody's arguing that. I want to be very clear about that. She can absolutely do whatever she wants with her body, but she also signed up for an experience to meet, learn, to love, and grow something with another human being. And if you're unattracted to that person, if you don't like this person, you have a choice. Right.
But we're not even talking about the act. We're talking about the lack of participation in the conversation.
Right.
I'm not telling her.
Anybody telling you to bust down.
Nobody's telling her to have sex. We're saying he's trying to talk to you about how to move your relationship forward in the area of intimacy. And you are shrinking miserably at that.
After you sat up in the confessional and said that you would need, if he made more strides to be.
How about that?
If he wanted a little bit more, he got to come and get it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not. It's scary because she don't know who she is. So we're having this visceral reaction to somebody who is just completely lost in the world.
Yeah.
And
they messed up. She shouldn't be on the show.
She shouldn't be on the show.
She ain't ready for this.
She is so scattered. It's like really fascinating, and she's not ready, and it's so upsetting. And I'm hoping, I'm gonna hope on it that they get to a space where they can learn to love each other and it works out for them.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that
yeah, she's not ready. She's not ready for this.
I just find her to be so. Where are her friends? Because if you know me, I'm the girlfriend you call, and I'm going to get you right together.
But that's what we was talking about, this coming full circle in the beginning of this session. We was talking about actually being around these people and these couples that can hold you accountable and that you can actually get wisdom and knowledge from and speak to. She's probably don't have that. She might be around a bunch of yes men. We don't know. And you know what I'm saying? But it looks like the proof is in the pudding. It looks like she doesn't have that.
The proof
for you to say something like scheduling sex
emotional support
with me is disrespectful and immature. You might not know not one married couple.
You don't know not
for you to
one.
say some dumb stuff like that.
I just am so, And I hope y'all hear this and it tingles something so you guys can have certain conversations at home or with your girlfriends or whatever the case may be about just loving your spouse or loving whomever you're with. And what does that look like? How does that show up? And how are you supporting them? You know what I mean? Because even her speaking about like, well, I don't want you to get like tired or burnt out here. You are a burnout.
Yeah,
you are the exact definition of. That's my niecey say that. Tanea be like, "Oh, that is you. They just burn me out." That's really what she is.
Yeah,
you are a burnout, sis.
For me, and I'm just watching.
I wanted to fast forward, y'all.
Yeah.
If it wasn't because I like to have these chit chats with y'all and my man, I would have fast forward because I can't see. As supportive as black women have been across however many years, hundreds of years, or whatever the case may be, to their male counterpart, to see one that is so unbelievably scattered and unsupportive, and she, quite frankly, she couldn't be supportive because she don't know what to do with herself. You know what I mean? It's really, I don't even know if it's his fault. It's really her. It's a her issue, and the problem is that that's gonna get tired. And she's going to look back on this and feel like a plum goddamn fool. Yeah. Because all this is opening up for her is more F-boy applications.
Oh, for sure.
She's going to be receiving them hard now. Yeah, because now what's clear is that that's what you like.
Right.
You like a man to go out there, bust down on somebody and bring home a baby. You like
and
that
not
energy.
Tell you a damn thing.
Because he too emotional.
Yeah.
But y'all, we done got in. I'm tired of talking about Karen. I don't even know her like that. And I'm like really like... I'm tired, okay? But I don't know if you are, baby, but I am. And we appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with us. We're going to do another live soon. Yeah. Real soon, okay? And I just really hope you guys enjoyed this. I ain't got nothing else to say about them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Until next week.
Until next week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.